Good evening. My name is Magnolia Becerra, and I am an N Street success story. I live with schizophrenia, a condition that distorts my reality. It brings me auditory, visual, and emotional hallucinations that can make the world around me feel unrecognizable. For as long as I can remember, I felt like a stranger in my own family, navigating both my illness and family that never truly understand me has been an uphill battle. My mother saw mental illness as a sign of weakness. It ran in her family. My maternal grandmother spent much of her life in a psychiatric institution. My uncle was also mentally ill and died at a young age. My father was cold and distant, showing affection only when others were watching. I never had support or understanding for either of them. My three siblings and I never spoke about my illness. I carried my pain in silence. For 25 years, I lived with paranoia, euphoria, depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts, a sick, relentless reality. Then, at 32, something unimaginable happened. I was living in a basement in Chicago when I found out I was pregnant. I couldn't believe it. Me, a mother. I had a chance to break the cycle, show my daughter the unconditional love that I never had. I had never felt such happiness in my life. Every 5 minutes, I checked the pregnancy test, making sure it was still positive. I moved to Mexico, then to California, where my daughter was born. She was my world, my reason to keep going. But after years of taking medication, I had to stop during my pregnancy. Without it, I started getting sick again. I tried everything, acupuncture, alternative treatments, nothing worked. When my daughter was 3 years old, social service took her away and placed her with my parents. When the police and caseworker came, I didn't understand. I thought they were kidnapping her. I spent the next several years traveling from state to state. Finally, I decided to settle in Washington, D.C., believing that someone here might help me to find my daughter. That's when I found N Street Village. They welcomed me with open arms. At N Street, I felt safe, I felt seen. After 6 years, I was no longer a homeless. At N Street, I found something I had never known before, respect. They didn't just offer me shelter, they gave me dignity. They clothed me, fed me, made sure I had everything I needed, even something as simple as a toiletry bag or a pastry on a hard day. With their help and the support of friends like Grace Mora, I started to rebuild my life. Then I went back to Mexico to see my daughter. That's when I learned the truth. She has been adopted by my parents. I could no longer live with her, only visit her under supervision. And when she called me mother, the people in the room were uncomfortable. I had to make the hardest decision of my life. I left her behind and returned to U.S., back to N Street, the only place where I was truly cared for. Here I'm rebuilding my life. Here I hold on the hope that one day I will be closer to getting my daughter back. She's the most precious thing in my world. N Street didn't just give a roof over my head. They gave me privacy, friendship, a sense that I mattered, that my illness, my experience, my emotions were real and valid, not something to be ashamed of. They never made me feel inferior. They spoke to me from the heart. They become my family. My journey is not over. It has not been easy, but because N Street, I no longer feel alone. If I do not belong in my biological family, then at least I have found my chosen one. Thank you.